Taurus, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for mid-August 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Taurus collective. I hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the lovely Taurus collective here in mid-August 2026? What energies, messages, insights can we take a little peek at? And yeah, we're just going to take a real quick look at this first card, then we'll get into the full reading itself. And at the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Taurus in mid-August. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's get this card out nice and quick. We're going to have some fun today, my friends. It's always a good time to read some cards for you. And yeah, this lady here, what is she looking back in the past for? Now, there are a lot of little sub-themes involved with this card, and it does pair with another card that's actually within this deck, but she seems to be looking behind herself, like looking back into the past. It's like I'm looking over my shoulder for some reason. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the August subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button, but tapping it right on its third eye, you know, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as we can see, we have this lovely lady dressed up nice and fancy with that purple dress. Behind her, there are birds going back and forth, to and fro in the sky. She's holding a letter with a wax seal and a rose. Now, this does give me echoes of the Six of Cups, partially because this one connects to another card where there's like a picture of a dude that's looking at a film or a picture of this exact image. So it's like two individuals thinking of each other. Now, again, I'm not going to say for all Tauruses this is a relationship thing. You know, I like to leave the readings a little more open-ended. But to me, it does deal with the past for sure. So for some Tauruses, maybe you're a little more sentimental than you normally are. Maybe you're taking some trips down memory lane. Maybe you see something or a smell comes through and it brings you back to a time many years ago. It's like something like that where it's like I'm transported back to the past. Now, there could be certain things from the past that could pop back up when this card is here for sure. Now, if we put all that stuff to the side, the fact that she's holding a letter, that we have birds, there could be some importance upon a communication, one that's either incoming or outgoing, or one that's being anticipated, especially with all this. So a lot of stuff, not a bad card by any stretch, but there is a sentimentality to it and then some sort of hook to the past. So we're just going to let her chill right there. It looks like she's having a moment. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my beautiful Taurus friends. What do we got? Now, while we get this shuffled and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. There was a very strong magnetic type of pull that I was picking up. And the reading was titled Here They Come. Now, again, it could have been a situation. It could have been a whole bunch of people. That's one thing I remember from last week's reading. There were like court cards and people. So, yeah, it could be a little wild socially for a couple weeks here, because remember, that energy could bleed over. There could be people coming out of the woodwork, my friends. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So only take this how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards from a beautiful Taurus, friends. What do we have? Okay. You get this card often. Okay, so we have the Tower starting this off. Don't get nervous about it. It does show up a lot in Taurus readings, and part of the reason I think that happens, at least for the readings I do, is if you look at the zodiacal wheel, Taurus is right across from Scorpio. So this is like a Scorpio card, and I feel like if you're on the same zodiacal axis, there is like a sharing of energy. And that's kind of why I think that towers show up so often in my Taurus readings. Okay, we got the King of Pentacles right there in the center. That's one of your power cards. Remember, it's not gender specific. So these two energies present in totally different ways. And that seems to be a theme I've been getting for all the earth signs this week, where it's like we either have 2 routes, 2 roads, or just 2 total opposite energies or approaches. Let's get one more. What do we have here for Taurus? Interesting. Very, very interesting. So we got 2 cards. One, here on the back end, we have the hermit, so withdrawn. Like this energy is like a yin yang when we look at it, and I'll explain that further. It's like we have the go forward intensity, we have the retraction and pulling back, we have the neutrality in the center, and then right here on the back end, we do have the Nine of Swords, which is something to keep an eye on. Now, let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like that lays a nice foundation and tells us how comfortable you might be with the energy or not. I will say this, all of the energy in the main part of the spread actually vibes very well with Taurus energy. We have a lot of earth here on the back end, which is your power element and your comfort zone. And believe it or not, the tower is water, even though it looks like fire and brimstone. So I always say when there's earth and water, to me, it represents potential, blessings, and abundance, right? Just like when you flower or you water flowers or plants, right? Like you need the water and the earth to bring forth the abundance. But they do present in totally different ways. Now, here with the earth, I like it for stability and security, right? Like that's the main thing I always think of. It could represent results. It could be money, work, business, finance, home, and family. All the material aspects of life are represented with the earth element, which could be good, right? There might be a big focus on that. It's an outside of yourself type of energy. The downside to too much earth, it can feel a little clunky. It could be an energy that's not really moving too much, or it could be a little frustrating. But for some Tauruses, maybe this is just your comfort zone. Maybe things are nice and quiet, and that's how you like it. That's very possible. But then over here, we have the water. Now, again, these two play well off of each other, but the water element is the emotions, the internal. So it's like we have the external, we have the internal. We have the hot, we have the cold. It's like we have a yin yang of energy this week. But the water could be partnerships, it could be intuition. It's a very soft, subtle energy. It's artistic creativity. It could represent emotional states, anything we're emotionally attached to. So whether that be a person or a situation. That downside to water is the volatility of it, right? Because it's always in, out, hot, cold, up, down, all that kind of stuff. So there is this little balancing act that we're getting. And we do have a little bit of air right here on the back end, which is mindset and logic. But let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with the bang. We start with the tower. So I already explained to you why I think it shows up a lot in Taurus readings, and there it is, position number one. Now I do like action cards, and for some of you, yeah, this could be a Scorpio or a Scorpio placement, and the imagery doesn't look too pleasant, but that's okay, right? It's just energetic potential. Always remember that. It's not saying that there's a big tower coming in, definitely. It's just energetic potential, and there's a lot of energetic intensity that comes with the tower. So could it be an ending? Sure. Could it be something karmic? Absolutely. Could it be something shocking? Yeah. This is the biggest card of shock in the whole entire deck. But not every shock is a bad shock. Not every surprise is a bad surprise. And that's something to always keep in mind when we see the tower. It does represent hitting the reset button, cleaning the slate, starting fresh. So there are a lot of good positives to this card as well. It's not all doom and gloom, right? Just because there's lightning. But there is a strong intensity, and the fact that it shows up right here as the very first card is something to keep an eye on as we move further. Now, moving to the middle, we have the neutrality, the total, like these energies, like when we go from Tower to Hermit, it's like go forward, recoil. And in the center, we have the King of Pentacles, and which to me, grounded, neutral. Now, for a lot of Tauruses, as mentioned, this is one of your power cards, not gender specific. Kings represent control of their respective suit. So we spoke in depth about what the earth element means, the earthly stuff, the money, the stability, the security, the predictability, the routine. The King of Pentacles has that stuff on lock, where it's like, okay, this is my schedule and I'm going to follow it. This is my plan and I'm going to stick to it. It usually represents blessings and abundance as well. So when I see him next to the tower, yeah, this damn sure can be something fantastic that just pops up out of the blue. But what might be the downside to the King of Pentacles? It can be stubborn. It can be an energy that's set in its ways. It's an energy that doesn't like to get outside of its comfort zone. Again, there's nothing wrong with that. Like, I mean, if you're in a comfortable place, comfortable space, obviously you want to avoid any shocks or like too many shocks to the system. But I do feel like this is more of like the grounding point of the reading. Now on the back end, we have the Hermit, and this presents in a totally different way than the Tower. Could be a Virgo you're connected in. Virgo season's right around the corner, so maybe it's going to give us a little hint about what the next zodiacal season has in store. That's very possible. But when I see the Hermit, the positives, it's wise, it's spiritual, it's introspective, it goes within. So if you've been doing a lot of spiritual work or introspection, right here, that's good. There's a lot of positives here, a lot of knowledge and intelligence with the Hermit as well. But the downside to the Hermit, it retracts, it pulls back. It could represent solitude. Sometimes it could be lonely. Sometimes it could be missing things. Like it's an energy that has its own bubble and it doesn't want anyone entering its bubble. This could also represent communication issues when we have the hermit or miscommunications. So it's something we want to take a look at. And looking at the main part of the spread, as mentioned, there's like this balance of energy or two totally different approaches because we have the intense, do it, make it happen, action, go, 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 retracted, pulled back, quiet, minding my own business, and then the neutrality in the center. Now, here on the very back end, we do have the Nine of Swords. I would say you don't need to be an expert in tarot to understand this card. The person sitting up at night, so make sure you're getting proper rest and relaxation. There could be something about your dreams. You might be having a lot of vivid dreams. I don't always think of this as a worst case scenario, but it can be stressed. It can be. You see this person, they're stressing out, they're losing sleep over something. So just something to watch out for. And it is, I will also mention this very small side note for some Tauruses. Three of the four cards we have out right now, Tower, Hermit, Nine of Swords, all do connect to paranormal activity to me. So if you're sensitive to like paranormal activity or having paranormal experiences, there's a lot of it showing up around you. Not saying your house is like crazy haunted, but like I don't know what this paranormal stuff is. But I want to dive deeper on all the Taurus. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on the Tower. And yeah, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Taurus, you can drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Tower time. Why is it here? Okay. All right, so it is around conversational energy. So we have the Page of Wands. And this energy just comes in out of nowhere. This energy is just like so intense out of the blue. So the Page of Wands, as with all pages, represents conversation, their messages, and they are also students, right? It opens new open doors. So for some of you, this could be an opportunity that knocks, like right completely out of the blue. Like, where did this come from? Where did this person come from? Where did this offer come from? It's just completely out of left field. And I think for some of you, it could actually be really good, especially with the page in the upright. It seems really nice. The only downside to me is like the pressure, the intensity. And something I know about you, beautiful Taurus, is from connecting with you so much through personal sessions, is Tauruses don't like to be pressured too much, right? They don't like to feel forced. They don't like too much pressure, right? They're very much go with the flow type of sign. This energy here on the front, whether it is a talk or conversation that's like really explosive, whether it is an offer, an opportunity that just like explodes in out of nowhere with the Tower and the Page of Wands, all of that can be in play. The only thing to watch out for is energetic recoil, because if this energy comes in too aggressive or too hot and heavy, it's just going to push someone away. So keep that in mind. Yeah, no judgment here, whichever end of the spectrum you're on, but I am getting this vibe of something coming in real hot and heavy, and if it pressures too hard, it could repel something, right? Especially with this here on the back end. So I think it could be all about pacing, my friends. But yeah, this could either be an explosive talk out of nowhere or an opportunity or offer. I think it can be great for some of you. It just feels like it happens very quick, very, very quick. And it might be too quick. Let's go in on the King of Pentacles. Let's see what he has. And again, similar to last week, we got a lot of people cards showing up here. Really want to get to that Hermit now too, but we're going to see what's up with the King first. How's that King of Pentacles here? Thank you. Yeah, let's slow this down a minute. That's how this energy shows up. Okay, Six of Swords, improvement, things getting better. This is an energy that likes to take its time. It's definitely like, hey, let's slow this down. For a small portion of Tauruses, watch for getting pulled into the middle of other people's stuff as well, because this kind of feels like a mediator. I've been saying it since the beginning. Like, we have this one energy here and this one energy there and this energy right in the middle, which is the stone. And it gives me the vision of like a boxing ring. Like, you know, at the beginning of a boxing match, you have one opponent on that side, another on that side, you have the referee in the middle. That's how this feels to me. So just watch out for that, like, because there is energetic potential for things like that to happen. But aside from that, if we put that whole thing to the side, King of Pentacles with the Six of Swords is like, hey, let's just let this unfold. Let's see where this goes. Very open-minded. So for if you are in that go with the flow mentality and mind state, like, hey, whatever's for me is for me. However it happens, it's meant to be. Things are unfolding for me. I like that because this energy is not trying too hard. It's not forcing, it's not pressuring. And that is another big theme I've been seeing throughout the zodiac in recent weeks. So I like it. So in the positive sense, we got this, hey, let's slow it down and let things flow how they need to, which is pretty good. But I also have this referee type of vibe for some of you. So watch out for mediating. Let's go in on the Hermit. Let's see what the Hermit has. Then we'll do a quick recap before we get into the shadow. So why is Mr. Hermit here for our beautiful Taurus friends? Very intriguing reading this week, my good friends. Okay. What is this stalling or delaying? So we have Judgment in reverse underneath this Hermit. So just like we've been seeing since the beginning, these energies present in totally different ways. Like from this with the intense, let's go, let's get this going, let's make it happen. The pressure, the pressure, the pressure. The Hermit with the Judgment card in reverse is like, quiet. I'm going off the map. It's delaying the energy, right? Because if Judgment was in the upright, then these energies are meeting in the middle. So it's like this energy is like pressuring or moving things forward. This energy is pulling things backward. So it does feel like a tug of war, an energetic tug of war. Now, Judgment can also represent something popping back up or returning. If there is a situation going on or dealing with a person, whatever it might be, when I see the Hermit with Judgment in reverse, that is an energy of spirit saying like, hey, let it come to you. Like you let this energy come to you. So for instance, let's say you get a new pet, a new cat or something. It's a little kitten and it's in its little crate, bringing it home, right? And it's curled up in there and it's scared. It doesn't want to come out. You just open up the door and you let it come out on its own. That's kind of how this feels to me. I know that was hyper specific, but there's something about just letting something approach you, or just letting something flow. I mean, that's the big theme here. But the only thing I don't even want to say concerned about, but just watch out for someone purposely delaying something. Um, it's all about the balance, my friends. But let's go through and do a quick recap, then we'll get into the shadow. So there's a lot of layers in this reading. I feel like I could read another 15, 20 minutes from this spread alone. But if you kindly look in the box, position number one, we have the Tower with the Page of Wands. That energy is boom, that's coming in hot and heavy. As I said, it could be an offer or opportunity of some kind, or it could just be an explosive talk, conversation, or message. It just comes in super hot. Um, Feels like it can be good, but it's just a little too pushy, a little too aggressive. In the center, we have the referee, right? We got the King of Pentacles with the Six of Swords. Watch out for getting pulled into the middle of other people's stuff in this time. But for another portion of you, this energy is trying to slow something down, where it's like, okay, no, we don't got to go that fast. We don't got to go that slow. We don't got to go that fast. Let's hit that middle ground, right? This is the flow state, which I love for a variety of reasons. We get to the back end, we have the Hermit with Judgment in reverse. And to me, this could be delays, someone delaying something purposefully, where it's like, hey, like, can't we just meet in the middle here? Doesn't have to be that fast, but definitely doesn't have to be that slow. But this also feels like allowing something to approach you or come to you, right? Like a kitten coming out of a crate when you bring it home. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into that further. Let's see what's in the shadows. And yes, I always like to pull shadow cards at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge; they could be a good thing. So let's get you one. Oh, and yes, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel, and I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this going here. What's in the shadows for our good friends? What is in the shadows for Taurus? Thank you. Cool. Five of Cups. This is a common shadow card to see, and it's the River of Tears. Normally, it depicts that dude all dressed in black. He's standing by a river, and he looks like a little bit down. Now, this energy could just be a little bit gloomy. Watch out for the energy levels, especially with the Nine of Swords in here, because for some Tauruses, this combination could just represent feeling a little off, where it's like, I don't feel terrible, but I don't feel too great either. It's like a blah type of energy, or like it's a gloomy, rainy day outside. Just, I don't know. The energy just feels gloomy or brooding, if that makes sense. Now, the Five of Cups can represent depression, it can represent sadness, tears, all that stuff. We're not just going to hyper focus on that because these energies are always on a spectrum, right? This could even be something like we saw in the beginning that is from a long time ago, that bugs me right now for some reason. But the energy does feel a little bit gloomy. So just, I mean, be aware of that in this time. Nothing wrong with having a good cry as well. Like if you've been feeling some things and you got to let some emotion out, this energy like does one of those. Like I'm going to go sit in the car and cry for 5 minutes. See you later. So do with that what you will. We're just going to put that 5 of cups down right there, my friends. That's what I have for you. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the August subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. The August calendar is up and spots go quick, so you might want to check that out. But for the August subscriber surprise, we're doing another winner's choice. I will choose 3 winners at random to either choose the Dreams of Gaia Tarot, which is an absolutely stunning deck, or one of the custom made crystal pendants from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things, as always, my friends. First, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the cards that showed up in your reading today, which one intrigued you the most? Which one caught your attention and why? And you put that in the comments, you'll be entered to win. And at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab / post tab. As always, my friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.